Good morning, kings and queens. This is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. And I want to have a conversation with you today about African spirituality and religion. It is really difficult, but understandable that Africans would be skeptical of African spirituality. And the reason I say that, it is understandable because we've always been taught that we were black. And when you look up the definition of black, black is evil, ominous, threatening. It's everything that you don't want to be. And they tie in anything that has to do with us with being evil, ominous, and threatening. So you back off spirituality and you stick with religion. We are not black. We are African. African is beautiful. African is godly. African is the closest thing that you can get to God here on this earth. African is beautiful. There is nothing evil, ominous, threatening, or black about African. See, I'm here to tell you that honestly, religion, Africans are not religious. We're spiritual. And we always have been. We were spiritual before they came over there looking for gold and stumbled upon the Africans. And before Christianity was brought to Africa, we were spiritual. I'm going to tell you something. And I want you to think about this. In your history books in this country, who do you think that history is going to benefit? Who do you think wrote those history books? Yes. So you can sit back and rely upon what you read, what you was taught in school, what they said. Because, see, we were slaves. Our ancestors were slaves in this country. There is no history here for us. The history only goes so far back, and it's only going to be what they want you to know in this country, what you have been taught. See, because I decided I ain't making that same mistake that I made with my children, with my grandbaby. I'm going to teach him myself. He going to learn from me. He ain't going to learn what they want him to know and to be taught to be a certain kind of way. See, they doing that too in school to the kids, to the African kids, teaching them to be a certain kind of way. I can tell you a story, honey, that you won't believe. I ain't going to broadcast it here, but I could tell you a story that you would not believe, a very, very personal story. So you got to be careful about what these kids are learning, honey. You got to be careful. And then another thing, and kudos to the teachers. I got to give it to the teachers. Kudos to the teachers. But the curriculum that they learning is what the school board, the government, it comes down from the top, what they want them to learn. And the teacher twisted, and put it her kind of way or whatever. But she has to go with the curriculum that they teach. Now, at your house, you can homeschool and go with the curriculum that you teach and give your child a high school diploma. That's what I'm doing. I've decided, see, since this coronavirus came in, my eyes have been open to a whole lot of things that's going on. I've learned some things. I read some things. I've been able to do some research and learn some stuff. But see here, look, that's why I'm telling you, you need to get on your journey. You need to learn. Because look, you got a child looking up to you. You got your future generations looking up to you, your nieces, nephews, whoever. Looking up to you. Every time you see them, they looking up to you. What we gonna do? Every time. So look, we got to make a way for our future kings and queens. We do. We have to make a way, because look, I was a school bus driver. And every time I go in there, most time they in there fighting. can't get along. I'm telling you, this oppression, it trickles down not only to us, but to our kids. That's why they in school acting a fool. That's why they in school clowning, fighting, and cutting up. In the neighborhood, cutting up, climbing. Guess what? If they get on board with the GROW program on something positive, they ain't got time for that. They ain't got time for foolishness. They gonna be future kings and queens and conduct themselves with royalty at all times. With each other and in the public. I'm telling you something. I got something that I'm on. I'm on something. I'm on something, people. So you got to grow with me. You got to grow with me. You got to tell somebody to grow. We got to keep growing. It's an uphill battle. It is. It's an uphill battle. But look here. We can get there. We just got to keep climbing. We got to keep doing what's in front of us. Don't look down. Don't look back. Just keep going. Keep climbing with me. Just stay with me. Come on. We all on here. Let's go. We got to grow. We have to grow for our future. We have to grow for our kids. We have to. We can't sit here and wallow in a pity party of oppression. We can't do it no more. So, I want to tell you something. I was religious for 53 years. 53 years I was religious until I moved into a haunted house. I lived in haunted houses before, but not nothing like this one. This one here, and when I moved in there, I was scared, and I stood there in the kitchen and said, Jesus, in Jesus' name, I rebuke you. And the demon laughed in my face. And my daughter later, another time, my daughter, asked her, I said, did you say in Jesus' name, I rebuke you? She said, I did, Mama. And she said it laughed at me. So see, I'm telling you, Jesus has no power. The good spirits help me overcome the evil spirits. I'm telling you, it wasn't Jesus. And it took me a while to come to grips with that, because I heard the good spirit tell me there is no Messiah. I heard the good spirit say that. And I didn't want to believe it, But what I do now, people, I don't pray to Jesus. I meditate to the positive. Matter of fact, I don't do nothing negative. I don't even allow that in my inner circle. That chaos, negativity, and drama. It still tries to penetrate, but I have to remove it. I have to get that. I have to get away from that. What we do, we just start meditating on the positive. And our ancestors, you call them guardian angels or whatever, but our ancestors are working beautiful things out for us on our behalf. They are. They are doing it, and you got to realize that you need to get on your own journey with God. Because look here, you've been going back and forth with the church, and I know I was doing it, getting up, getting dressed, trying to get the kids ready, do this, do that. And then you get out the door, get to church. Then you got to deal with the demons in church. That sister don't like you. That brother can't stand you. These people in church is spiritual. It's a spiritual warfare, and their heart ain't right. See, that's why we backslide in church. That's why so many hypocrites in church. All these different religions and denominations. You got to do this. You can't say that. You got to be here. You can't listen to your music. You can't do that now, but you do it anyway. See, it's hypocrites. You got to, because see, you got to be you. You can't pretend. See, in religion, they make you under their laws. You got to be, you can't wear no pants. I did that too. I went through the dress and shrouded up, wrapped all up, tied up, in a bow. And I did it all, and come to find out, didn't even have to do none of that. None of that is what God looks at. God looks at the heart. Because see, once you in church and you around them spiritual demons, you can't help but get in on that confusion. You all in the mess. You try to stay out of it. You don't want to hug nobody when you come up out of there. But they catch you. As soon as you get there, here come them spiritual demons. Catch you, grab you, look at you crazy, staring at you sideways. You ain't got to deal with none of that. And then paying all your money in the church. You got $5 get to work, and you trying to debate, so you get a pass of $2.50 of that. You ain't got to do none of that. Keep your money to yourself and begin to build wealth for you and your family, for you and your children. This is a spiritual warfare we in. See, and I'm telling you something, the church got it wrong. Pastor, I was a pastor, but I wasn't in no church taking no people money. I had my ministry on the radio. Like now, I'm on the podcast. I support my own ministry. And I think that if you're going to have a ministry, you should support your own ministry. You shouldn't be requiring 10% of people's income in a time like this, in any time. Nobody should have to pay to hear good news. Nobody should have to pay to find out, how do I make it? How do I win the battle of life? How do I win this battle of good and evil? I got these demons all around me I'm trying to deal with, and I don't know what to do. Y'all need somebody to help me. So, religion ain't it. Religion ain't it, honey. It ain't man. All religion is man-made. I don't even know how to say this. I say it so many times. But see, the thing of it is Africans are so afraid. If you don't say Jesus, you're going to hell. And you just don't realize that's wrong. It's all wrong. It's wrong. And we're spiritual. We're not religious. We're not. And we were spiritual before Christianity was brought over there. Think about that now. All Africans, no matter where you are. You could be in the corner of Timbuktu. It don't matter. All Africans came from Africa. All Africans are spiritual. All Africans are next to God. But what you got to do, you got to put that love back. You got to forgive. You got to fix that evil heart. You mean towards folks, and leave that church alone. Quit giving that church your money. Get on your godly growth journey. Get on your godly journey. An African spirituality journey with you and God. You ain't got to call it grow. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But it's your African spirituality journey. That's what it is. And in the meantime, we're going to come up out of oppression. What we've been dealing with in this country. So the chains are broken, people. Now we got to break the chains of our mind, because church is a form of oppression. We got to break the chains of our mind. It took me a minute, honey. I cried. I did. I cried when I realized that what I've been doing for 53 years was wrong. And I could have had it right a long time ago. But I went through this battle, and I went through it so I could tell you. I'm finna save you a trip, Don't go to the school of hard knocks like I did. We finna get it together now, not later, now. God bless you. Be safe, be woke, and be blessed. Let's grow.